got out, took out the radiator, all the coolant hoses, distributor, took out the exhaust, the AC, which is hanging here. I don't want to release the Freon, so I'm just letting it, unless somebody I know wants it. But yeah, got power steering is off and pulled off to the side here. Started to pull this stuff. I don't think I'm going to bother using the lift because it's so, the driveway is so that I think I'm just going to, since I have to pull it all apart to rebuild it anyways, I might as well just take it piece by piece. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it that way. But yep, there's the update. Well, wire harness is out and off. Yep. Alright. That's what we got. Very interesting. Nothing seems broken. Seen dirtier, seen cleaner. But yeah. Before I went any further, OEM. Yep. Oh, that one flipped too. They had one on the other one that flipped. Curious. I wonder what causes that. I don't know. Taking a smoke break here, I decided to do a quick little update. The EX engine is gone. It's all this D16 Z6 back there. I guess maybe I could start in here. Got the Z6 block, intake, head, the EX SI transmission off 91, I believe, rebuilt, new synchros and everything. Still gotta switch out the flywheel on that. I'm trying, I gotta do the motor mount. Switch that out. I got the head gasket, head bolts. Some other stuff came, talking about water pump, etc., etc. But just got the D16Y8 out, sitting right there. Took that out piece by piece as well. There's the rest of it. Y7 transmission, axle, head, distributor, bullshit. Yep, that's how long my head gasket lasted. See, it totally fucked it up. But yeah, so I pulled that, left the AC compressor and power steering just kind of hanging out. There's just a tarp covering the void. This is the harness off the DX, or the D7Y rather. Not sure what I'm going to do with this transmission. I want to try and sell it. Don't know if I can. But yeah, buddy. Y8 is out. Or Y7 is out. If it's a Y8, I probably just rebuilt that. But, boom, schlock block. It was a pain in the butt, as always, getting the fucking ball joint to separate. Oh no, I don't just bite the bullet and buy a tool. Because I don't know. This one came off super easy. But yeah, I got that lined up. It's about where I'm at. Tonight I'm going to have to rebuild the head. Seat the valves. That's going to be a whole nother nightmare. But as for now, I got both engines are out. Now I need to get that one rebuilt and put in. I'm not getting a head gasket till tomorrow, so that's going to give me time to bust through the head tonight. Try and work on the harness. I got some of it, I pulled it through, unthreaded it, figured out what I needed, rethreaded it. As you can see, it's a mess. Yeah. Got some of it labeled, some of it staying, most of it's going because I still have the other harness right here ready to go in there. So that'll be that. Alright, till next time. Some stuff done today. This is the power steering hose off of the 95 EX Z6. I cut it. I was gonna try and see if it fit, and then when I was taking off the hard fitting on the other car, it just twisted the hose. I thought I was loosening it, but it was actually just crimping and twisting the hose. So that went bye-bye. Cut that down to about here. Kept the original hard line from the EX on there. Hose clamp, double down. They're pretty much touching, but hopefully that'll work. It's fuel line from off of an old hose. It's about that much. You can see the writing's even the same. So power steering, hopefully that'll work, because I'm keeping the D6 mount. Threw a little quick primer paint on there. Figured sand off what I couldn't. Also got that rear engine mount on. The way I did it, it helps to be standing in the engine bay, but the way I did it after I got this off, the first two are super easy, right here and then that one back there, but there's another one that goes up and around, and you got to go down through that hole where you see my finger waving right there. With I use I think it was a 9-inch. Anything bigger than like a 10-inch or something, as long as you can clear this hose and get in here or above it, because anything below there you're not going to be able to ratchet nothing. And I put the small socket on top of it. It's a 14, put a short 14 on there, then I threaded it through and locked it down into the socket that's already on the nut, and then I attached the ratchet up here, and it came off pretty easy. Went back in exactly the same way. You don't have to take the engine out. It definitely helps to be standing in there, but yeah, like I said, you don't have to do that. Other than that, I got the those two projects alone took me like 3 hours, 4 hours. Other than that, I got the new SI cable, throttle cable, the one that was on the other car, and the new clutch cable from the other car, both of which are brand new. So I threaded them out, put them out there. They didn't have, it wasn't the same pedal set, because the EX has a cruise control that I'm deleting off of this, because it's on the steering wheel and I'm getting rid of the steering wheel. So, but yeah, it has a weird clutch pack back there, and the old oh no, that's the clutch cable. That has the same fitting on it. I don't know what I did with it, but the old pedal set had a different clamp on up here on the inside, so I just switched out the pedals. It was easy, just a cotter pin, pulled it, put it back in, put a new cotter pin in, and called it a day. Yeah, I don't think it's any shorter or anything like that, so I don't think it's going to make it accelerate less or more or whatever. It looked pretty much the exact same size. So yeah, but waiting on, ordered a new radiator today. Tried to use this one out of this car. This one's just so old, I just don't trust it. So I just ordered a new one. I figured a new $45 one was better than a 28-year-old. Well, I don't know. It's a Denso original, so whatever. But yeah, got new engine mount there. Got this new engine mount on. That new engine mount on. Like I said, do a little bit of painting. I started to think about wiring again today and got lost. Well, got lost isn't like, I got out of there. Really quick paint job. Just wiped it down and painted it over. But yeah, that's about where I'm at today. Outside. But inside, I've been wrestling with power steering options and all that all day, so I just said screw it, cut the hose, figured it out. But I got the new water pump tensioner back on. New timing belts on there. Put the cover back on. Crankshaft. I looked. It's a different alternator. I was thinking about even switching pulleys, but I'm not even gonna deal with it. Just use the same alternator. She never had any issues with it. Basically, just cleaned it up a little bit. Got rid of most of the junk on the front. Didn't really do any pistons in the back. Cleaned up the back a little more. just kind of got it shiny again on the black stuff and whatnot. I do want to change out the thermostat housing still tonight. Still waiting on the head for that head gasket, but I went and cleaned off the valves, gave them a quick scrub, and I'm still gonna go over the sandpaper pen that I absolutely love. So I'm gonna go over and get all this little tiny gasket that's still on there, just this junk stuff. But yeah, that guy's pretty cleaned off, ready to go. That's about where I'm at, waiting on a head gasket, throw it back in. I do need to take, I'm forgetting which transmissions are which. That's the one off the LX, which is actually an EXSI. I'm gonna put that one on, but before I do that, I need to get the flywheel off of the Z6. And I need the flywheel bolts from the D17. So I have to take that clutch pressure plate system off, take off the bolts, and then I need to take this pressure plate off. I need the lightweight flywheel off of that. Probably going to use my Exit Stage 1. Why not? Just use that combo again on that transmission, or rather on that engine. Yeah, but I have automatic transmission bolts on there right now with thread lock of death, so I don't know if I'm going to be getting that lightweight flywheel off. If I'm not, still going to have to take this one off to get the manual flywheel bolts off of, so I'll be doing that for sure. That's just a shitty Y7 head. Yeah, so I have, what is it, 18 flywheel bolts to try and get off. I'm going to go to my friend's and borrow his impact wrench tonight. Maybe I can get those off tomorrow, before I get those all swapped out before the head comes. And then I'm just going to start throwing this sucker back together, plug it in. I doubt it's going to work right off the bat, because my wiring abilities are rusty, to say the least. It's been 2 years since I had to do the loom for this car for Mr. Bendy. But yeah, ugh, that VTEC solenoid. I'm so happy to see that in my garage. I've never had one, so I'm excited. This is all kind of just first time stuff for me. I've never even tried anything close to this, and now I have 3 cars at once. The Franken Civic. Ugh, craziness. Alright. Back at it, I guess.